Good morning, students. Have a great day. Let's start this day with OOAD. In today's topic, we are going to see about artifacts in elaboration and the domain model. In yesterday class, we saw what is elaboration phase. Before that, just let's have a quick recap of the yesterday topics covered. We saw association. In that, in particular, we saw what? Generalization, realization, dependency, etc. Then we saw the difference between aggregation and composition. This is an example representing what? Generalization and specialization. All these notations are to be mentioned in which diagram? In the class diagram. Okay. So it is one of the important diagrams in UML. Yes, because it shows the structure of the entire system. It can also be called as the static diagram. Then we saw another weak form of relationship called as dependency. A class may depend on other class. In that situation, you have to give it by dotted arrow mark line. But it is different from association, because in association, the attributes will be associated to the other class. Yes. Next, we saw some rules. We can mention some rules in the attributes and the operations also. Like comment lines that we are giving in programming language, we can give here notes. The comment can be called as what? Here note here in the class diagram. Not only in class diagram, in any diagram you can mention this note symbol. For example, in the use case diagram, you want to mention a particular actor as a primary actor means assume a library management system. So student will be a primary actor. So you can mention that student as a primary actor in the note symbol. Yes. Hope you are able to visualize the slide. Yes. Okay. Then we saw the elaboration phase. Now in today's class, we are going to see about the artifacts that are used in elaboration. Elaboration is the second phase. It majorly concentrates on the architecture. Yesterday I played one video, a small part of the video. Today also at the end of the class, I will play the second half of the video. It's a lengthy video. How the architects play a major role. What is the role of software architect, solution architect? So many architects are there. Enterprise architect. Their role is to design architecture. Yes, they have to design. They have to design and implement the core architectural elements. All these things are done in the elaboration phase only. Yes. Now let's move on to today's topic. The major objectives of elaboration are what? To build the core architecture and to resolve high risk elements. Yesterday I told the high risk elements because those risk elements are present in the business domain. While going for requirement analysis and gathering itself, there may be some chances of getting the risk, facing the risk. Okay, at that situation itself, there should be some solution to recover the risk. So we have to resolve the high risk elements. Then most of the requirements will be defined, will be clearly defined in the elaboration phase. And finally, the overall schedule and the resources are estimated. These are the major objectives. And each elaboration, an elaboration phase of a particular project, it contains what? Minimum 2 and maximum 4 iterations. You can't go with a single iteration because single iteration means there will be possibility of more flaws or errors. So you have to go with 2 or 4 iteration. If I am repeating the process means at each iteration there is some possibility of reduction in the risk. Okay, here we can't tell it as error, here we call it as risk. So elaboration phase consists of 2 to 4 iteration and each iteration takes what? 2 to 6 weeks. If the team size is large means we can minimize the weeks. And also each iteration is time box. That means we have to fix the deadline for each iteration. After that, the deadline you have to compulsorily go with second iteration only. Yes. Now let's see the artifacts. Yesterday I told about what is meant by artifacts. Here we call it as what? Objects. Simple objects that are used. Fundamental objects or entities that are used in elaboration phase. Okay. So these are the major artifacts. domain model, design model, software architecture document, data model, test model, implementation model, and the last one is the use case storyboards and UI prototypes. By the name itself, you will get some related meaning. Okay, all are simple only, but we have to relate it with some example, some real-time software example, how the project is going on in a company. No need to think of only TCS, CTS like MNCs only. You can just think of a normal startup company also. You may have some idea to have a startup company. At these situations, you have to think of all these things. Then only you have to start the process. Yes. So these are the major elements that are needed in the elaboration phase. In detail, we are going to see about the first model, domain model. Got it? Before that, yes. So just remember these artifacts. Better you have some note and pen with you and say, take some running notes. Don't depend only on the PPT and the notes that we are giving. Only if you take notes on your own, you will remember ever. Yes. Don't think that notes to be taken only for analytical subjects like that. For this also, you can have a short note because I'm not telling everything in the PPT. In addition, we are discussing many things. So you can have a note of it. Yes. So these are the artifacts. Now we are going to see all the artifacts briefly. Then we are going to see domain model in detail. Okay. Let's see the quick brief note on all the artifacts. What is domain model? What is design model and all. So a domain model is nothing but it's a visual representation of all the concepts, all the domain concepts. Okay, that is called as the domain model. We are going to represent using the class diagram only, but we are going to make some few changes, few additional things we are going to include. Yes, it is similar to a static information model of the domain entities. Entities means what? Objects. Is the major objects that are used in the particular domain. All those things you have to analyze and you have to represent it visually. That is called as the domain model. Yes. Then second one is design model. The name itself you have some meaning. Design means I am going to design a model using some diagrams. But the diagram will describe what? It will describe the logical design, not only the physical design. Physical design means just the outer experience, appearance. Yes, but it will describe the logical design also. How we can implement the design model means by using the class diagrams, software class diagrams, interaction diagrams, package diagrams, etc. A package diagram is nothing but it contains a collection of class diagrams. Not only class diagram, it contains collection of class diagram or a class diagram and a sequence diagram like that. You can have combination of all diagrams. That is your package diagram. So that is the domain. Through design model, through package diagram or interaction diagram or class diagram, we can implement the design model. Yes, this is the second artifact in the elaboration phase. Very important question. Explain the artifacts in elaboration or explain the elaboration phase, because the second unit we are fully dealing with what? The second phase. In first unit we saw the inception phase, how use case diagram was used. Similarly, here how the elaboration phase is going on, is executed. What are all the diagrams that are used for doing this elaboration phase? Yes. So this is the second artifact. And third one is the document, especially the software architecture document. It is nothing but it is like a help or a learning aid. It will summarize all the issues, all the architectural issues and the resolution, especially in the design part. We are fully dealing with the design part only. Yes. So it will summarize the issues. All those things will be present in the particular document. Here only that software architect role plays a major role. He plays a major role in each company. Software architect, solution architect and enterprise architect. Yes, remember this in your mind. And the video you can watch it in clear later. Yes. So this document, it summarizes all the ideas, all the design ideas and their motivation. Just like SRS we can take. For any project, you are supposed to write the SRS. Similarly, For the design itself, you are going to write a document. That is called as the software architecture document. It will contain key ideas and their motivation, how the ideas can be implemented like that. So those things will be summarized in the third artifact called software architecture document. Yes. The fourth one is the data model. Data model means you are going to represent data as some model. Okay. Data means it includes what? Database schema and how they are mapped. How the schema is mapped between the object and the non-object representation. All those things are represented using the data model. That is your fourth artifact. Then fifth one is test model. A test model means it should contain some test strategies. It must contain some summary of how the testing can be done. There are so many testings. Black box, under black box and white box, you are having so many testing strategies, unit testing, integration testing, etc. Okay, what kind of testing you are going to use in your project? Okay, that description and how you are going to implement the testing, what strategy you are going to use. All those things are present in the test model. I'll show one example in the next slide. You will get more idea. Yes. Then the next one is the last but one is the implementation model. This model, it will show the actual implementation. This artifact, it will tell the actual implementation of the source code, the executable code, the database, and so on. All the things related to implementation that will be present in the implementation model. Just assume that you are going to draw some box. What implementation you are going to use? Assume that you are going to have some Java package. In that you are going to say, use applet or swing like that. Those things you have to mention diagrammatically. That is called as the implementation model. The last artifact is the use case storyboards. Storyboard means what? It tells some facts. It tells some information about the use cases and the UI prototypes, user interface prototypes. So it tells the clear description of the user interface and how to navigate from which button to which button, from which place to which place I have to connect like that, and all the usability models, etc. All those things are present in the last artifact. Use case storyboards, it represents what? All the characteristics that are related to the persons involved in the particular system. Yes, so these are the 7 artifacts. I hope you get some idea about the artifacts. We are not going to see all the artifacts in detail. We are going to concentrate only domain model in this unit. If the question is asked, explain elaboration means you have to include these artifacts also. Let's see this one example. This is a sample artifact. UP. UP means what? Unified process. Yesterday in the video they mentioned one term called what? RUP. RUP means rational. Rational unified process. As we are having the rational development, we are calling it as rational unified process. Yes. So this is a full representation of all the artifacts. On left side you can see these are the different stages. So first stage is what? Business modeling. All stages are most important. So business modeling, then what? Requirements, then design, then project management, and then testing. Yes. So these are the different domains. Now in each domain, what are the things that are used? In business modeling, what they are using? Domain model. This is a simple representation of domain model. Just the class diagram only. Extra things we are going to add. That is the domain model. Okay. Then you are having in the requirements, you are having what? Use case model. Now you see one difference in this rectangle. This is not a normal rectangle. This is a tabbed rectangle. Are you able to see? A normal rectangle denotes what? A class. Yes. This is a tabbed rectangle. Tabbed rectangle denotes a package. I told that package diagram. Yes, this can be a package diagram. This is an example for a package diagram. But in this package diagram, they are using what? This sequence diagram. This is the representation of sequence diagram. So this entire thing is a package. These are the note. Yesterday I told about note. Yes, this is a note, a dog-eared rectangle symbol. So it is the glossary. Glossary means what? Collection of information related to this particular system. All these things are present in the glossary. I am going to have some events, system events and data that will be passed to the sequence diagram. Then after doing the sequence, after making the sequence diagram, operations will be done. System operations will be done. Those things are stored in the glossary. Like dictionary or like database, we are having glossary, list of items that are needed for the particular data model or the domain model. Yes, so all these things are present in the requirements phase. Then we move on to design. In the design phase, what artifact will be needed? A design model. Because we saw their domain model, data model, design model, then what? Test model, etc. This requirements, we can use the data model here. So in the design phase, you are having the design model. It is used to handle all the system events. From where we get the system events? From the previous. From the requirements, we are getting the system events. There is one arrow mark here. From the system sequence diagram, we are connecting to the design model. Yes. In this model, apart from design model, in this design phase, apart from the design model artifact, another another artifact is also used. Software architecture document. Because in this design model only you are going to develop the core architecture. For any architecture that is designed, what you have to do? You have to document it in the software architecture document. Yes, after design, you are going to do project management. I am not at all getting into the implementation. In this design itself, you are going to test. Okay, it's not related to design, coding, implementation, testing, not like that. In the design phase itself, you have to do some testing. Yes, for that you need some team, a good team that is handled by the project management. That team will develop a software development plan. How we are going to actually implement a project, whether it can be done in a scheduled time, whether the resources will be utilized correctly, or whether additional resources are needed. Everything will be planned here in this software development plan. The last one is the test plan. You have to create, you have to draw or write a test plan. Then you are moving into the environment. In the environment, you are having the development case. Development case, actually you are going to implement the design. Yes, through that development case. Noted, this is the overall idea of a usage of artifacts. What are the artifacts we have used here? Domain model. Then what? Use case model, a design model, software architecture document, plan. This is also an artifact. Test model or test plan, and the development case. Okay. So in the glossary, we are, as told, we are maintaining all the parameters and all the written data that are elaborated. Those will be present in the glossary. Yes. You may draw some other diagram, but this is the template to be followed. Like this, you can write all these domains. You can draw. This is the generalized diagram. In particular, you can draw for what? Library management system or hospital management system, anything. Okay, for that, what is the sequence diagram? Exact sequence diagram. You have to correct it. You have to write it properly. Got it? Any doubts so far? Please feel free to ask doubts. You can unmute your mic and you can ask, or you put it in chat. At the end, I will answer. So next one is here. Now only we are entering in detail about the domain model. It is the most important artifact in the analysis to create during the object-oriented analysis part, especially in the business modeling discipline. The first one is your business modeling. Yes, before the requirements phase, we are doing the feasibility study. We are going to model some business plans. For all those things, we are using the domain model only. So it's a visual representation of the conceptual classes. This is the simple definition for a domain model. Domain means what? A particular area. Particular domain means what? Particular place where we are concentrating. The research domain or subject domain, like that. In your resume also you may put area of interest, like that. Similarly, a domain model means just what I am going to exactly do with the classes, especially the conceptual classes. So far we saw only classes. Here conceptual class means a class with concept, a class that represents something meaningful. That is called as conceptual class. I'm going to represent everything visually. That is called as the domain model. Okay. It's a visual representation of the conceptual class or real world objects. Let's take that student management system. A student is a class. Faculty is a class. Suppose I am drawing just simply. I am putting a rectangle and I am putting student, means it denotes it is a class. But I don't know about the attributes, operation, etc. I have to add the attributes. What attributes that are specifically needed to do with the student for calculating the CGPA, like that. Okay, so you need what? Roll number, name, department, then marks. With this you are doing the operations or the methods, getting the marks, calculating marks, etc. So this is called as the conceptual class. That thing we are going to represent using the domain model. Okay. But it is not a set of diagrams describing the software classes. Just you may get confused. Actually, this diagram, it will define the conceptual classes only. Software class means, just I told, a student is a software class, a faculty is a software class, a book is a software class, passenger is a software class. Like that, we can have many software class. But here, using domain model, we are going to represent the conceptual classes only. Yes, this domain model can also be called as what? These are the different names for the domain models. Domain object model, conceptual models, and analysis object models. Yes, these are the different names for the domain model. In this UML notation, we can represent a domain model easily using the class diagrams. There is no need to define the operations also initially. Initially in the domain model, there is no need to define the operations. That can be called as a partial domain model. But it will show the attributes, associations, and the domain objects. Okay. And the second thing I mentioned, it may show the domain objects. It may show the association between the conceptual class and the attributes of the conceptual class. But it's not necessary to define the operation now itself. So at this stage, we can call it as a partial domain model. Okay. You can call it also as a visual dictionary. There are so many terms related for domain model. Here I have mentioned, they are also called as what? In short, you may be asked to write the question, define DOM. DOM means domain object models, nothing but the domain model, or the conceptual model, or analysis object model. We are looking at during the object oriented analysis only. Okay. At that stage itself, we are going to use this artifact. So it shows the domain objects, association, and the attributes. It is a visual dictionary. We can call it as a visual dictionary. Normally, dictionary contains what? Collection of words, list of words with meaning. Similarly, we can represent that dictionary in a visual way. That is your domain model. By looking at the domain model itself, you must get a clear idea about the project or the application that you are using. Yes, so it is a visual dictionary of the abstractions that are used. So many noteworthy abstractions will be used, that to be denoted using a domain model. And the domain vocabulary. Vocabulary means what? Contains some meaningful words. Here, meaningful words means what? Meaningful elements or the entities that are used, and the information content. All these things are present and given as a dictionary, visual dictionary, that is called as your domain model. have it in your mind. It is not a design model. A domain model is different from a design model. The first artifact itself I told. Yes, domain model, it tells the domain concepts. It tells the information model. But design model, it describes the logical design. Don't get confused. Yes. So this is an example for a partial domain model. It's not a full domain model. As told, it's a partial domain model. How many classes are there? Sorry. So the sales line item as one class, item as another class, sale as one class, store as one class, payment and then register. In the first unit, you saw one case study, the next gen POS system, a normal activity that is done in a departmental store. Yes, that is called as the next gen POS. POS means point of sale. Sir has elaborated that next gen POS system. Assume that you are entering the departmental store. You are collecting all the grocery items that you need. Then you are coming to the billing part. You are taking out all the items that are that you have purchased. Then the billing will be made for all the items. You are paying the amount. Then getting the remaining amount. Finally, you are going out. This exact thing only called as what? POS, point of sale system. At the billing session, all the people have that marketing strategy. So many extra items will be there. Yes, chocolates, ice creams, so many catchy items will be there, especially for children. That is one kind of marketing strategy. So apart from purchasing all the major groceries at the billing session itself, we will pick some 5 to 6 items and we will add it into the bill. It's happening. It's a fact. Yes. So this entire representation is called as the POS, the next gen point of sale system. Similarly, same thing, it is related to this only. We are having the sales line item. This thing only, this the POS only represented here. But here all the things are not exactly mentioned here. So only it is called as a partial domain model. Yes, this sales line item associated with which class item? It's a bidirectional one. In the association part, I have mentioned what? Records sale of. That is called as what? This is your verb class, association name. Yes, and you are using multiplicity. This record sale of is the verb class. That means sales line item records the sale of what? Item. In the first class I told, teacher teaches the student. Teaches, that is the role of the teacher. Teacher teaches what action that is going on. Similarly, how the sales line item and sale are associated. A sales line item contained in the sale. A sale can be paid by making some payment. A sale is captured on the register. Like this, you have to correlate the entire diagram. Yes, a sale means sale of the particular items that we are purchasing. All those things to be recorded in the register. A sale is captured on the register. An item is stocked in where? In a store. Yes, not only one item. I have mentioned what? Many items, many products. Many products are stocked in one store. The star, one double dot star all represent what? Multiplicity, different kinds of multiplicity. So hereafter, for any class diagram you are drawing, you have to write the multiplicity, you have to write the role, everything. Okay, whichever applicable. Then this store holds what? The store houses one or more register. That means what? We are maintaining some register. Yes, the store will store or hold many registers. Then one sale can be paid by one payment. One sale means one particular customer buying a set of products. That is treated as one sale. For one sale, you have to make one payment. Yes, that sale can be captured on the register. You are making the billing. Yes. So this is the representation of a partial domain model. I have mentioned it as a rectangle. The simple rectangle, your first part is the class name. Second compartment is your attribute. Third compartment is your operation. As told in the domain model, there is no need to define the operations. You can mention what? Class name and the attributes itself. Yes, for sales line item, the important attribute is what? Quantity. How much quantity I am going to sell. Then for sale, on which date the sale occurs, on what time it occurs. Then for payment, what is the important attribute? Amount. Like that, this register, you can have the register name or the number. The store, you are having the address name. Like that, you are associating all the classes. The left side, we are having 3 boxes. What these 3 boxes denote? I need quick answer in the chat. Or you can unmute and tell. What the 3 boxes denote? Students, make it fast. You can put it in chat. Yes, Kaushika answered note. A note symbol you can have. Yes, Harshita, correct. So it is the note. This rectangle, it's not a rectangle. You have to flip that corner. அதுக்கு தான் வந்து dog-eared rectangle னு பேர். Okay, just like the ear of the dog, it will be turned a little bit. So that representation, that is for note symbol. That note you have to mention using dotted line, then with this one. This is the way of mentioning the note. So the sales line item is what? It is a concept or the domain object. This line is what? It's an association. So you can make the parts like while drawing a human body, you are denoting the parts of the human body. Same thing only. For a simple class diagram also, you can mention all the parts. This is the association. This is the attribute part. Like that, you can also add one more. This part, you can mention it what? Multiplicity. Or this one as the multiplicity. Like that, you can mention. This is the exact representation of a partial domain model. Yes. Now we are going to convert this partial domain model into a complete domain model using the operations. Yes, with this, by this itself, we are getting some idea, but you have to give it in detail through what? Through the conceptual classes. Yes, for making a domain model efficient, you have to use what? Conceptual model, because the definition itself, what? It is a visual representation of the conceptual classes. So it illustrates the conceptual classes or the vocabulary. A conceptual class is nothing but an idea. By looking at the class itself, I am going to guess what that class is used, why that class is used, what is the idea behind that particular class. Or it can be an entity. It can be a noun also, a noun class or an object. Yes, so that is this is a way of representing a conceptual class. It can be an idea, it can be a thing, or it can be an object. So here, sale is an idea. Yes, sale is an idea. We are going to sell something. So that is an idea. But sales line item or item is a noun. That is a particular thing or object. This conceptual class can be considered in terms of 3 important components. I can represent the conceptual class by using symbol, or by using intention, or by extension. Symbol means just by denoting a symbol only we can use. Intention means a normal, a practical model to denote the conceptual class. Extension means in addition I am going to write some extra things for the conceptual class. These are the 3 ways of denoting the conceptual class, either as a symbol or as an intention or as an extension. So this one, you can look at this diagram and you can get it. Let's take that same example, sale. Symbol means what? Just the words or the images representing the conceptual class. Okay, we are going to mention only the word or the images. This is the symbol. The sale is a symbol, concept symbol. Then the second one, come to the second one, intention, the definition of the conceptual class. I am going to write what is the use of the sale. I am going to write it in a normal English using the sentence phrases. A sale represents the what? Event of a purchase transaction. It has a date and time. Yes, this entire paragraph can be replaced by this one itself. It is easy to identify. And it also saves the time. Yes, the sale has date and time. That only I have mentioned in a paragraph, in a sentence. That is called as intention, the exact definition of the conceptual class. Extension means what? In addition to the definition, I'm going to mention some examples to which the conceptual class applied. This sale can be applied to whom? Many sales. That can be sale 1, sale 2, sale 3, 4, etc. Okay. So these are the ways of representing the conceptual class. Among these three, which one is the very common and a popular one? The first one. The symbol is the best one. We can represent the conceptual class easily by using the symbol. In addition to that, we can represent using intention and extension also. Okay. Now we move on to the second half of the video. It will show the representation. What is the role of the architect and all. In the next class also, I will play the another part of the video that will cover the UML phases. How the UML phases are applied in the particular project. Yes. I hope you are clear with these things. What is the domain model? In this class, we saw what? What are the artifacts that are used in the domain model? Then what? In detail, we saw about that is what are the major artifacts. There are 7 artifacts that are used in elaboration. In particular, we saw what? How the domain model is used, how the domain model is represented. With a simple example, we saw with respect to the POS, the next gen POS. Yes. Let me play that video. I hope you all watched that video yesterday. I won't play that part now. Let's start from that. So now here we are going to see the role of the architect. Then in Amazon, in AWS and all, how the architect plays the important role. Just watch it carefully. It's for your benefit only. Just presenting the slide and dictating something, it's not at all, it won't be fully effective. Only by relating to the real world example, we can get some idea. Yes, you'll be able to get some idea. So requirements means this one. Like this way, the companies are using the artifacts. Like that, you must get some idea. So only I'm playing this video. Okay, watch it carefully. At the end, some discussion.
Architects oversee the big picture without diving into low-level technical details. Today, we know 3 main roles related to architecture: enterprise, solution, and software architects. First, there were enterprise architects and software architects. Solution architects weren't initially recognized either in enterprise architecture frameworks like TOGAF or in software development ones like Rational. But sometime in the mid-2000s, the role emerged as a middle ground between a wide enterprise perspective and a narrow tech perspective. Ultimately, the roles differ in how high their vantage points are. Enterprise architects consider the big picture and oversee the entire corporate tech ecosystem from the business perspective. Solution architects work with specific products and define how they answer the business questions with technology. Software architects specify the structure and behavior of a system described by solution architecture from a technical perspective only. Any software development starts with gathering requirements from a diverse group of people: stakeholders, user experience specialists, or even end users. Business analysts are in charge. They document requirements in user stories, short descriptions of product behavior from a customer perspective. These are functional requirements. There are also some non-functional ones: the general qualities of software, its speed, maintainability, security, and some others. Besides requirements, any project has its own constraints: a budget, manpower, time, licensing, and risks. A business analyst provides a solution architect with all these inputs. The architect is responsible for converting them into a high-level technical guide. But there's an additional level of complexity. Usually, a product never exists alone. It must fit into the current enterprise architecture, other systems a company has been using before. For instance, if you use an old legacy monster, your shiny new admin panel must be able to tame it and communicate with it. So a solution architect considers existing enterprise architecture to make sure that a new product fits well in the existing ecosystem. If you look at the Amazon Web Services Certification Exam Guide for Solution Architects, you'll get the idea of the problem domains that this person faces. Designing resilient architectures, defining performant architectures, specifying secure architectures, and so on. Too vague, right? Okay, for example, an architect building an AWS-based system may need to decide which Amazon cloud service to use and how if the client's salespeople upload their sales figures daily. They need a durable storage solution for these documents that also protects against users accidentally deleting important documents. The selection of specific technologies isn't limited to cloud services only. An architect decides technology stack, databases, architectural patterns, standards, and more. But where's the architecture? What is that exactly? Construction architects have concepts and plans. Solution architects have diagrams. Now remember Rational Software. In 1995, they suggested Unified Modeling Language, or UML. UML is a language.
Yes, students, I hope you understand the exact meaning or the detailed meaning of architecture. So far, we are seeing building the architecture, developing the architecture, designing the architecture. But that architecture itself has lots and lots of internal disciplines. So you may be assigned a solution architect. You may get the role of software architect or anything. So in the business analysis itself, we are having plenty of roles in the software companies. Don't think that only developer, only tester are doing the roles. Okay. So remaining things we will discuss in the next class.